Welcome to a world where fantasy meets reality, where the lines between imagination and existence blur in a tapestry of adventure and injury. Join us as we journey through the pages of a living young adult novel, brought to life in the immersive world of Dungeons and Dragons 5th Edition, into a realm where magic is real and danger lurks around every corner. Follow the story of our intrepid heroes as they navigate through the treacherous landscapes of vivid imagination, facing formidable foes and forging unbreakable bonds along the way. From the towering spires of enchanted cities to the depths of ancient dungeons, each episode brings new challenges and discoveries as our heroes embark on a quest to uncover the mysteries of their world and unlock the secrets of their own desires. So grab your dice and prepare to roll initiative, for the adventure of a lifetime awaits in this thrilling fusion of literature and tabletop gaming. Welcome to Thronescapes, Season 1, Captives and Crowd. Hello, everybody, and thank you for tuning in. I am the DM, John. I will be your storyteller through this adventure, and I would like to thank you for joining us for our inaugural episode for the BAM Tavern's flagship show, Thronescapes. Joining with me, I have our two wonderful stars of the show, Rose and Christina. The three of us, we've played Dungeons and Dragons together for quite some time, so I felt that this was probably the best way for us to tell a story of this magnitude in a way that everyone could participate and follow along. And so the first thing I wanted to do was to go over some session zero things with you all. But before we get too far into that, why don't you give me an introduction? Introduce yourself to our viewers and watchers. Rose?
Hi, I'm Rose. I started playing D&D about 6 years ago, before I met John, actually. Something I did with my older brother. He was really in the World of Warcraft era, so we kind of got into it at a local game. It was really cool, and then when I met John, we started playing it, and now we've been playing it for 5 or 6 years. We've also done Pathfinder, we've done World of Darkness, we've done Star Wars, we've done a few different RPGs that we've kind of tackled, and it's been a really fun ride, and I have a massive dice collection that has become an obsession.
Click back, go to the shiny math rocks for the Horde. Christina?
Hello, I'm Christina. I also started playing D&D before I met John. I actually started playing with my husband about 8 or 9 years ago when we first started dating. I've played 4E, 5E. I have also played Pathfinder 1E, Pathfinder 2E, a mix of World of Darkness stuff as well. And then we met John and Rose, and we all just became really good friends after that, and we've been playing together ever since.
Fantastic. And finally, my name's John. I've been playing D&D for a very long time. I first started playing tabletops when I was in the military very long ago. Because you can do a lot in the desert with dice. But I started playing then, and then I met the group of friends, and I got back into it. With the advent of 5th edition, I contribute to play testing as well as some writing for some party publisher companies, and I run quite a few tables, and I'm actually a paid DM now, which is something incredibly interesting, through Start Playing Games. But I've written this story. We're going to be playing in a mostly homebrew world that's mostly all of my design. We're going to be playing through a series of pre-made adventures as well as adventures that I make up myself. These adventures are made by different third-party publishers and such. And I've woven them together into a really interesting and great story. The main character for our tale is Kalianna, who will be played by Rose. And Rose has played Kalianna a few different times. It's one of her favorite characters. Very strong, interesting character. And joining and accompanying her on this trip will be her soon-to-be best friend, I think, Opal, who's a brand new creation that Christina made for this tale, as well as other interesting and fun, I certainly hope interesting characters that they meet along the way. But before we get into all of that, I do have some Session Zero housekeeping stuff that I like to go over, and I'm going to do this in front of everybody on the stream so that you can reference back to this video if you're ever interested about the house rules that we use. If I go too fast or if you players have any questions, feel free to ask. If not, I'm going to start rambling things off for about the next 10 minutes. Here we go. So this is a level 1 to 20 adventure, and if you want to extend it further past that for extended levels, we can go into epic tiers for level 20 to 30. I quite enjoy the system of epic gaming presented by 2C Gaming, which is one of my very favorite third-party publishers. I think that they did a great job with the Epic Legacy Heroes Handbook that they have out, and that's what we will be using if you choose to go from 20 to 30. But at that point, we're going to be stopping once the story comes to an organic end, not so much just tacking extra seasons on at the end to keep the story going like so many TV shows. We're starting at level 2, and we're also going to be using the talent system. The talent system that you all are familiar with, it is made by the publisher Draconics. It is also a really great video explaining it was done by the channel Nerd Immersion on YouTube. But talents are extra powers that you players get that change the way that the rules interact with your class abilities, your racial abilities. It just lets you do extra stuff, or stuff that you can't normally do. And you get talents at a set frequency, level 1, level 3, level 6, and every 3 levels after that. And you get talents, but the monsters also get talents. So the monsters you're going to see, if you're familiar with 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons, are going to be able to do things that you don't normally see them able to do. And that's because of the talent system. It's going to keep our heroines on their toes. We're using max hit points. You never have to roll for your hit points. You just take the highest number on the dice. And we use the heroic array of stats. So what we did for the heroic array is it's the standard array of stats plus 3. So 15, 14, 13, 12, 10, 8 becomes 18, 17, 16, 15, 13, 11. There's that college education paying off. But you have that stat array, and you've built your characters with those. I've also given you an extra feat and an extra talent at level 1, in addition to what you may have from background, from your race, or whatever you have. So it's setting up that you're going to be very powerful characters, and if all that power isn't quite enough, this isn't a normal D&D game. This is a young adult novel story, and the heroes and heroines in those stories can change the world. And since there's only 2 of you, this is also a Gestalt game. So I've developed and put together a way for us to play Gestalt characters, and each of you have 2 separate classes that level up at the same time. So at level 1, you're a level 1 something and a level 1 something else. And at level 2, you're a level 2 something and a level 2 something else. And your part of the deal for that is the 2 classes you've chosen are your 2 classes, and you will not be multi-classing throughout them. If you come up with a cool name for the mixture of your 2 classes, Shadow Assassin, Storm Knight, we can definitely start calling you that. That'd be great. Does that all make sense? Fantastic. We will be using Roll20 for all of our dice rolls, and it should be popping up on your screen so that you're able to keep track. It's also a great way for us to have our tokens moved around. Great art made for us by our very own Rose for each and every one of the characters that you will be seeing. Now for some house rules. As usual for my table, whenever you drink a potion for yourself, it is a bonus action instead of an action. And any potions you drink are maximized. So instead of rolling 2d4 plus 2, you will get the flat 10 hit points, 20 hit points, what have you for the potion that you're rolling. You can give a potion to someone else. That costs your action to do so. Readying an action does not use your reaction for the round. I think that's a dumb rule. Readying action takes up twice the action economy as taking things on your turns. I don't like that, so we don't use that. Readying action takes your action. You just have to state which action you are readying. I'm readying an action to dodge. I'm readying an action to attack. I'm readying an action to cast a spell. Whichever. Let's see. I have all of your character sheets in the Roll20, and I will, in secret, roll your Constitution saving throws for death saves, for curses, for diseases, for things like that you don't know, so that, you react organically whenever you see your friend laying on the ground, and you're not saying, oh, well, he's got 3 more rounds, he'll be fine. That's a great way to get your paladin dead. Rest in peace, Lila. Now we are going to be using an XP system for this game. Since you're Gestalt characters, it's not the normal numbers for levels. And I have given in the Discord a copy of that, and you will be able to look that up when it comes time to leveling. Right now you're at base level 2, so it's going to be a little bit. I'm also using all of the optional rules for the DMG, so climb on a big creature, flanking, marking a target, as well as magic item attunement and all of that things. And good role-playing will earn you inspiration and bonus XP. Sometimes there are social encounters as well as combat encounters, or there are exploration encounters where just finding something gives you a little bit of XP, just like in a video game. And those are hidden deep within my mind, and that's a steel trap. So the only way to find it is to look for it. With that in mind, monsters are intelligent. I will be playing their stats. If they have a high intelligence and a low wisdom, they're going to do something stupid or unwise. If they have a low intelligence and a low charisma, they might do some really nasty things. But I will be playing them to their stats, and they know what they're doing. The reason they're alive to adulthood is because they're good at what they do. So if it's an ambush predator, it's going to ambush you in the worst possible spot for you. Sometimes the answer to a fight is not to fight, it's to escape. Not everything in the world is going to be gated to your level. If you run into a Behir or an ancient dragon at level 2, it's not going to be wise to try and stab it, because it's going to try and stab it back. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. See an ancient dragon at level 2? Run. Yep.
Don't climb on top of it.
And mount it with the climber's kit.
When leveling, your health is maximized for every level. And since it's a Gestalt game, you take the higher hit dice of your 2 classes. Non-magical ammo is not tracked. I don't want to keep up with that. You don't want to keep up with that. Roll20 doesn't even like to keep up with that most of the time. With that in mind, I just sort of assume that with the pocket change that you have, you keep your non-magical items filled up, you keep your weapons in repair, your armor in repair, things like that. The only exception is when you would very obviously not have your stuff, like you've just been robbed, or you're locked in jail, or you've been kidnapped by dark elves and driven to a slave camp, and you meet a little gnome named Jim Jar. Right? You're not going to have your stuff then. Yeah, I bet that was going to happen. But does that make sense? Fantastic. And most important, this table is run by the rule of cool. Rule 0 of D&D says that if it's cool, if the rules don't work that way, but it's cool, the rules are going to work that way. If we ever get into a disagreement about how something should be ruled, you can ask me to look it up. And what I will do is I will take 1 minute, and I will look up the rules, and you will look up the rules, and we will spend only 1 minute doing that on a timer. If after the end of that minute I don't find the rule, or you don't find the rule, we're going to go with how I think things should run, just to keep things going smoothly for the session. If you still feel like that was wrong, I'm not going to retcon anything, but come to me after the session, off screen, off camera, and we can discuss what's going on. And if you show me that I was wrong, I will absolutely change my ruling for next time. As of yet, I have yet to not find a rule within a minute. Google is a powerful tool. The SRD is great, and I have a very good working knowledge of the 3 books. This is first time for everything. Does that make sense?
Sure does. Yep.
Sounds fair? All right, is there anything that I haven't touched on? Yes, lines and veils. We use the lines and veils system. I've talked about the lines and veils off screen with my 2 players, but for the people watching, what lines and veils are they are a way to protect against things that are just traumatizing or uncomfortable for each individual at your table. And I've talked to Rose about hers, I've talked to Christina about hers, and I've talked about mine to them as well. And the way that works is there are lines and veils in this game. Lines are things that never happen, they don't happen off screen, they don't exist at all. And my line is the exploitation of children. It does not happen anywhere in the world. Will not be referenced happening because it doesn't exist. No matter how evil you are, no one does that. That's a line. And I've got lines from Christina, I've got lines from Rose, and I will keep that in mind over the course of the story. The other thing is veils. Veils are things that make you uncomfortable, but it's okay if it happens over there. Right? So my veil would be sex. I like you. I do not want to roleplay having sex with you on screen in front of everybody. So anytime there's a sex scene, it will be a fade to black sort of thing. Though, from what I understand, there is a Patreon for that sort of thing. That if anybody wants to read about what happens off screen, for that instance at least. But the other veils that we have are the torture of children. That won't be discussed. Excessive gore won't be discussed in detail. I'm not going to describe a whole lot of flesh crafting. And those are veils. And I've also told my 2 players here, these 2 wonderful women, that if something comes up that makes them uncomfortable, to let me know, and I can adjust things on the fly. Because if everyone at the table is not having a good time, then it's not a good table. And I absolutely want this to be a good table. I want us to have fun while we tell this story, and I want it to be fun for people watching in the future these games. And then we even discussed our secret hand signal in case I cross a line. One of my lovely assistants, one of my lovely stars, want to show me a hand signal? There it is. If at any point in time I see either of you make an X across your chest, I'm going to promptly stop talking. And we're probably going to pause the stream for a few seconds, discuss what's going on, and then come back. Because everyone having a good time really is the most important thing at a table. And that's, out of all the years that I've played and run D&D, that's mainly the most important thing. Is as long as we can communicate about things and keep open those lines of communication, and there's no sort of grudges being invented or sort of things that build up over time until they explode, we can snowball past all kinds of scary bugbears. Sound fair? All right, that's lines and veils. I'm looking at my notes. Rose, you're a genius. Did I miss anything?
Nope, that matches my notes.
Christina?
All good here?
Any questions?
Are we going to level on screen or off screen?
What a wonderful question. I think, personally, and we can talk and take a vote on this one. I think personally that it would be better done off screen because it's a long process, because it's a Gestalt game, and whenever you level, it leaves a little bit of mystery to figuring out what your new abilities are as they come and they manifest. And so it leaves a door open for more role play abilities of, oh, well, I got a new subclass this round, so now I can create spirit trinkets. Well, that's neat. But what's better is saying, channeling these new powers that I've unlocked, I raise my hand and call forth the souls of the fallen as I crush them to gain extra power. That's my vote.
It does sound very
Dramatic.
dramatic. Yeah, it's good. I like that. I like that.
So then, we will be leveling off screen. Great question. Any other questions? Any other things to bring up in session 0 before we get started? Because I just thought of 2. Fantastic. The first thing is table talk. Unless your sentence starts with Kalianna thinks this, I'm going to assume that you're speaking out loud in character. We're all three using a push-to-talk system. And if you start having word vomit, well, your character can do that too, and that will lead to some interesting moments. But that way we don't break character, our viewers don't get confused, I don't get confused, because there's a big difference between Kalianna saying to the bad guy, go suck a butt, and Rose saying to the bad guy, go suck a butt. And if I can't tell the difference, it creates a place where we could have a little bit of tension. No friction where we don't need friction. Table talk. That makes sense? Did I say that we're rolling on roll 20? All dice rolls are on roll 20. It keeps us honest. It allows the viewers to see what you roll. And not everybody's good at arithmetic. Everyone thinks they're good at arithmetic until they have to add 30 numbers together in 6 seconds.
There's a lot of math in D&D.
That was a lesson from Pathfinder 1st Edition, man. Woo, that monk. That was one. The other one I was going to mention was, we go ahead and you tell us what your classes are, so that people have an idea of what you're gestalting.
I am gestalting a rogue, and I'm using the, well, it's not the regular rogue, it's a third-party rogue. It's some fixes to some things, and it is the Laser Llama alternate rogue.
I really like his homebrew.
He's got some pretty cool stuff. Him and Kibble's Tasty have some pretty cool homebrew stuff. I didn't pick Kibble's Tasty this time, but I did pick the UA Mystic. I like it. I don't get to run it off. I don't get to play it often. A lot of DMs don't allow it. Our DM has set a balance and counters for it, so I don't have a problem. So I'm running a Mystic. And I'm also a Mark V Simic race. But I like the Rogue, and I'm excited to see how the Rogue and the Mystic collaborate together.
I love mystics. They are far less overpowered than bards, and if anybody wants to argue that point, fight me. I will argue that point for days. I've done it for years.
You can probably find them in the Reddits arguing that point. If there's someone arguing that mystics are not as strong as bards, it's probably him. I hear.
Bards are okay, man.
I am playing the revised, rebuilt monk of the Phoenix monk and Phoenix warlock.
Nice. And what race are you?
I am an abyssal tiefling.
Ooh, a little bit of UA there too. I love the abyssal tieflings. Just chaotic enough for you.
All the fire, just all fire.
You just want to watch the world burn.
The melding of a warlock with a monk is really interesting because that makes you an extremely short rest-oriented class. I don't know what a good word for that is other than flaming fist, but that's kind of taken.
She can literally do this all day.
Yep.
Hot hands. I don't know. Any ideas for what you would call a monk warlock who focuses on fire damage? Let us know in the comments. And please, anybody who is enjoying this, give us the HBO special. That's the Help a Brother Out special. Give us a like and subscribe. Ring the notification bell. Watch our show if you think this is going to be good. I think it's going to be good. I am going to subscribe to the show, and I think that you should too. All right. So we have Kalianna, the Mark V Simic Hybrid Mystic Rogue, level 2. And we have Opal Fairweather, the Abyssal Tiefling Warlock Monk, level 2. We're going to be playing in a homebrew world of, well, it's actually of Rose's creation, this world, mostly. Rose's creation and Christina's husband's creation. That we've played a few games in before with other characters that will be mentioned as NPCs and who were generally successful in most of their endeavors. I think that about covers it for Session 0 stuff. Fantastic. Well then, thank you for tuning in. I can't wait to see what happens next. And we will be back shortly, and I think we're going to hop right into this if everyone's agreeable to that.
Let's do it.
All right, we'll be back in, say, 10 minutes for Thronescapes. Captive. Okay. All right, we're back, and thank you for tuning in. Once again, I am your DM, John, and this is the inaugural episode of our show, Thronescapes. So let's go ahead and hop right into it. Are you girls ready?
Ready.
Fantastic. So, join us and step into a world where magic pulses through the very air, where ancient ruins whisper tales of forgotten glory, where every shadow holds secrets untold. Welcome to a realm of wonder and of danger, where the boundaries of reality blur and the impossible becomes real. Our journey takes place in a land of endless possibilities, where towering mountains scrape the sky and dense forests teem with hidden dangers. Cities of shimmering spires and sprawling marketplaces bustle with life, while the wilderness beyond holds untamed creatures and untold treasures awaiting discovery. But amidst the beauty and wonder, darkness lurks in the shadows. Ancient evils stir in the depths of forgotten dungeons, and malevolent forces plot in the halls of power. It is a world on the brink of chaos, where heroes rise to face the darkness and restore balance to the land. Join us as we embark on this epic quest through the richly imagined world, where every twist and turn brings new challenges and revelations. From the halls of royalty to the depths of the underworld, our heroes will face trials and tribulations beyond imagining, as they strive to fulfill their destinies and save their world from destruction. Prepare to be swept away on an adventure unlike any other, as we journey through the pages of our own epic saga, brought to life in the immersive world of Dungeons & Dragons 5e. Welcome to a world where dreams become reality, and where the power of imagination knows no bounds. Welcome to Thronescapes, Season 1, Captives and Crowns. It's dark, and you don't know how long it's been. As you try to gather your thoughts and gain your bearings, you think about the last thing that you saw. The last thing that you saw clearly. You were off, and you and hundreds others, maybe even thousands, all fell into the holes. These magical holes that appeared in the ground and swept you away to places unknown. Kalianna, tell me, what were you doing when you fell into this hole? When this hole formed beneath you?
She was standing in the shadow of a crumbling castle under the heavy, oppressive sky in front of Cyanrath, a towering, fearsome 9-foot-tall blue half-dragon clad in dark armor with his greatsword gleaming ominously. She stood resolute with her rapier in hand, energy crackling, fixed on him as she shouted defiantly, "Your reign of terror ends here, Cyanrath. I will purge your evil from this world forever." Cyanrath's response was a deep, draconic laugh, chilling and devoid of humor. "I'll be happy to see you try, but it's not I who will fall this day, young Anacalify." He boomed, his voice echoing off the ancient stones. Their battle commenced with the clashing of steel. Her rapier moved like a flicker of light against the night, swift and precise, while Cyanrath's greatsword swung with the devastating force of a tempest. Every strike she managed, he countered with the brutal grace of a seasoned warrior. His blade a dark mirror to her radiant energy. As they fought, Cyanrath unleashed his fearsome lightning breath, a torrent of electrical blue death. She responded with a surge of purple energy from her rapier, creating a spectacular clash of power that illuminated the darkened battleground. Despite her dexterity and well-honed skill, the difference in their experience was palpable. Cyanrath had been forged in the fires of countless battles over decades, his movements not just powerful, but eerily precise. In a pivotal moment, as she maneuvered to strike a critical blow, the ground beneath her shimmered and twisted, and a green magical portal appeared without warning, its edges swirling with dark energy. Cyanrath seized the opportunity and his sword slashing across her thigh, a wicked gleam of triumph in his eye as her blood spilled. As she staggered, the portal yawned wider, and with a mocking laugh, he taunted, "It seems as if today will not be that day for either of us." With those final words echoing in her ear, she fell backwards into the portal, the world of the castle battleground dissolving into the bleak, shadowy confines of the dungeon that would become her prison.
You know, I'm the storyteller, right? No, that was excellent. Wow. That was really well done. I would have to follow that up. Why don't you describe for the viewers what your character looks like?
From the dim corner of your confinement, you notice her for the first time across the cold stone room, chained to the opposite wall, a stark figure against the bleak surroundings. Despite the grim circumstances, there's a haunting kind of beauty about her. Her fair skin looks almost luminescent in the gloomy light, contrasting sharply with the deep shadows under her once vibrant violet eyes and arched brows. Fatigue is etched deep into her delicate features, yet her gaze holds a fierce determination that suggests an unyielding spirit. Her full lips are a rich wine color. Her thick chestnut brown hair, once probably neatly braided, now falls in tangled locks over her shoulders. Her clothes, a dark purple top and gray pants, look battle-worn and slightly tattered beneath the. She sits with her back against the stone wall, her posture slumped, not just from physical exhaustion, but perhaps the weight of her thoughts. Despite the obvious signs of her ordeal, there's an undeniable elegance in the way she holds herself, a quiet strength that speaks volumes about her character. From your vantage point, her initial behavior is striking. The unwavering observations... Okay. After those 2 relentless days of vigilance, there's a notable shift. She closes her eyes, and her body adopts a posture of deep meditation. She seems to retreat in herself, her expression becoming one of intense focus as she is accessing inner reserves of patience and strategy. It's a stark transformation from the acute alertness of the previous days to state that borders on transcendental calm. Yet this meditative state is periodically broken every so often. Her previously stoic expression crumbles into one of warrior fear. Her left hand fidgets restlessly, a visible sign of anxiety that grips her momentarily. Her brows furrow deeply, and it's clear she is grappling with thoughts that are confining as the chains that bind her. However, each time she takes a small, deliberate breath, smoothing the creases of concern away and resting in her composed demeanor. This cycle of internal struggle and regained composure paints a picture of someone battling not just physical confinement, but an internal turmoil that is just as binding.
That is your character, and you have awoken and you find yourself. You're chained to a wall in this dark room. Across from you, you see someone else. Christina, how does your character look?
She has magnificent curling horns that stem up from the base of her forehead, or the top of her forehead. Her hair, which is not taken care of at all in this dungeon, is beautiful pink, blues, and purples. It should probably be cut at this point. Tan skin, full lips. Her eyes are mainly closed. Doesn't want to see anything.
And what were you doing whenever the holes formed at your feet?
She was on the run, trying to get away from her oppressive parents, wanting to go out on her own to figure out what she wanted to do in the world.
And just as an aside, how old are your characters? Christina?
Opal is 28.
And Rose?
She looks as if she hasn't even reached 2 decades.
Fantastic. Opal, you find yourself in this same room. This locked is a bad word, actually, for me to use, but this dungeon cell. 4 stone walls, no windows, no doors, and you were chained in this room. And here you remained, your strength sapped from you. For 2 entire weeks, you were chained on this wall. Your hands can't move further than here. You're chained above your head. Not a whole lot of room to maneuver, and even whenever you sleep, if you do sleep, it's just you being dangled by these chains. Your shoulders ache, your arms hurt, and where this metal touches your wrist stings like a bee, or a wasp, or a hornet, or some other striped insect with a stinger on the back. It's constantly uncomfortable, and even the slightest movement in your exhaustion wears on you. You don't know how you ended up chained to this wall. You remember falling for about 30 minutes, which shouldn't be possible. And when you awoke, you were drained of all strength and tied to this wall. The only thing you see around you are the stone slabs, the 4 walls, the other individual in the room, and a patch of moss. It is dark. You are lying on dark vision, the entire room in shades of gray. In the heart of this ancient dungeon, darkness reigns supreme, a silent sentinel that guards the captives. 2 figures, illuminated by the faint glimmer of their own dark vision, stand in a stark contrast against these shadowed walls. On the one side, a tiefling woman, her hair a wild cascade of unkempt tresses, a testament to her untamed spirit. Muscles ripple beneath her skin, a testament to her strength, yet now rendered powerless by iron chains that bind her wrists. Opposite her, this human girl, a long braid adorned with intricate tattoos down her right shoulder, a warrior's badge of honor. Her frame, though slender, bears the scars of countless men, testament to her resilience in the face of adversity. They stand chained, facing each other in this windowless cell, their only companionship the oppressive weight of the darkness that envelops them. No doors, no cracks, no escape, only the unyielding grip of their captivity. As their eyes adjust to the grayscale world around them, they perceive the faint presence of life in the form of a solitary patch of moss clinging to the damp stone floor. Its presence a stark reminder of the persistence of life, even in the darkest of places. Yet, despite the silence that hangs heavy in the air, there is a tangible sense of dread that permeates the chamber, as if this very darkness itself were a living entity, watching, waiting, whispering of fates unknown, of torments that await. That's the end of the cinematic. Opal, what has your character done chained to this wall for 2 weeks?
Tried to somehow get out of these chains, but most likely failed every single time.
From a mechanic perspective, whenever you started, you had 5 levels of exhaustion. Completely drained of power. So it's taken you a long time to even muster up the strength to move around. But try as you may, you are unable to break these chains. What has Kalianna been doing for 2 weeks?
The first 2 days, she didn't sleep, didn't close her eyes, studied every inch of every room. She counted all the ceiling tiles, all the floor tiles. She counted every inch of everything there was in this room and committed it to detail. And then after realizing that no one came in or out for 2 days, she closed her eyes and hasn't opened them for the last 12 days. Every now and then you can hear her mumbling about the 53 ceiling tiles, the 67 wall tiles, and how it's wrong. Something's wrong. It's not right. Something's wrong. There's 53, there's 67. Something's not right. And then every now and then you'll hear her mumble about, okay, well, even if I could get out, I could get out of the wall. But what if we're in lava? Well, the other one can't survive in lava. She'd burn. I'd burn. Well, if we're underwater and we're down deep under pressure, we'd be crushed like a rock, like nothing. So we can't get out. This is the safest place. I'm not starving. She's not starving. We're alive. What else is out there? What's guarding this place? Where are we? Are we going to get out? Can we get out? If I get out, I have enough to get us out of here. If I punch an inch through the rock, I can get out, but she'll be here. Can I plug the hole and get out and get back in time before she dies? Is what, just musing through every single possibility, running through every scenario of, okay, well, I can make a small enough crack in the hole. If I can get out and muster some of my power, I can teleport through. I can get out, but I can't teleport her with me. Do I come back for her? Do I stay and hope that maybe I can fight off whatever's here? Well, if I break off the chains, I'd have to dislocate my wrist and my thumb, which means I can't fight. Can she fight? Is she a good fighter? I wish there's a way or some tool we had to dig out of here. And so just for 12 days, she's just mumbling and muttering with her eyes closed every now and then. Her left hand twitching every now and then as she gets anxious, and then calm washes over. She takes one single deep breath once a day for 12 days and just tries to remember that she's not dead. It's just here, wherever here is.
You take your single breath of deep air, and it occurs to you, you've never spoken to this woman.
She'd be thinking, okay, well, why are we here? I have an idea of why I'm here. I know why I'm here. I know why I'm here. Why is she here? What did she do? What's her punishment? We're in prison. We're somewhere. This is punishment. What did she do? And so, all of a sudden, she just look up at you first time. Do you have a spoon? And what'd you do? And that's the only thing you'd hear from her for the last 14 days.
What's your crime? And where's your spoon?
I don't know what you're talking about, a spoon. I haven't done anything. I was just trying to leave home.
So you're not a criminal, then?
Mm. Far from it.
There goes that idea. What about a spoon? You said you don't have a spoon? Have they not been feeding you?
My arms are chained up. I can't use a spoon.
It occurs to you, you've been chained up for a long time. You figure it's been about 2 weeks, so you can't tell time. As best as you can tell, it's about 2 weeks. You're not hungry. You're not thirsty. You feel general malaise, generally bad, but you're not. You haven't starved to death, and you most definitely have not eaten.
Do you have a spoon?
I usually carry a fork. Those are more efficient, but no, all of my stuff is gone. Stuff I had with me. What's your name?
It's normally polite to give your name first.
Given we've been smelling each other's sweat for the last 2 weeks, I think polite went out the window when we got chained here together. I'm Kalianna.
Fair enough on that. I'm Opal.
Well, Opal, don't worry, I'm going to get you out of here, and I'm going to smile, and I'm going to try to use any bit of my ability that I can to see if for 2 weeks anything is changed in my predicament.
Something's wrong, and you can't place what it is. There's something wrong about this room, but you put it to the side in the back of your head, and you focus as hard as you can, and you feel it, and you're able to gain your psionic focus.
I'm going to try to teleport out of the chains using the nomadic step psionic focus if I can.
So you'd like to focus in nomadic step.
I sure would.
You focus in nomadic step, and you go to teleport, but instead of teleporting the 20 feet that you're supposed to be able to move, you teleport not even 20 inches. You don't move out of your space. Opal, you see Kalianna flicker, almost out of reality for a second, but she doesn't move. But it's enough that the chains around her wrists fall. Your hands are free.
That's a neat trick you got.
Kalianna, you feel muted. But now you are free to move about this cell any which way you like.
I'm going to go over to Opal and try to help her get out of it. Something's wrong. It doesn't feel right. I should have moved farther. I should have moved across the room to you. I need to get you off the wall before guards come in and notice that we're not here. I'm sure there's some alert system. There's got to be.
One second while I change the map on the Roll20. You guys should see a black map, right?
Oh, yeah, it's dark.
Oh, yeah.
That's the problem with Roll20 technical difficulties. 1 second. There we go. You should be able to see your tokens, right?
Yes, we can.
Fantastic. Kalianna, you're free to move. Opal, you cannot move. You're still tied to a wall.
I'm going to move over to her and see if I can break her chains. Or help her, at least.
So you want to... You go to her, you're just trying to, like, rip her out of the wall?
I'm going to use give her the help action on an athletics check, hopefully, to break her from the wall, but it'd probably still keep her hands together, but almost like pulling her and having her hold her chain, like rip the part from the wall. Her hands will still be attached, but at least if she gets off the wall, that's better than nothing. That's my goal, at least. I don't have anything else. I don't even think there's rocks in here for me to use to bash it with.
No, for being an ancient... Well, it feels ancient. It's just stone to you at this point. But it is immaculately clean. There are no cobwebs. There's just a patch of moss. But you give the help action. Without saying a word, I guess.
Alright, pull on my count, and I'm gonna hold behind her, probably around her waist, and have her turn around so I can pull and go and count down to go 3, 2, and then on 1 where I'm going to pull her back as hard as I can. Hopefully she can have her feet positioned against the wall so she can like push herself off with her strength.
Opal, what do you do?
On her mark, I'm going to try to get off this wall.
All right, first roll of the game. Go ahead and make me an athletics check at advantage. So at advantage, I see a 16. So you go and you launch yourself as hard as you can, and your wrists are yanked back behind you, and you fall face first, dangling. It hurts a lot. You hear a sickening crack as your shoulders pop. You do not break any chains.
That didn't work as I expected it to. I expected that to go a lot better in my head.
Yeah, this hurts.
You don't have a hairpin or something, do you, and all that, do you?
No, but I do have my horns.
Kalianna, you're relatively intelligent. It occurs to you, your hair is in a perfect braid.
Do I have a hairpin?
It keeps your hair in perfect braid.
Oh, I'm gonna grab one of my own hairpins and see if I can fiddle with her locks.
I guess you didn't need a spoon after all. Go ahead and make me a... Are you proficient in thieves' tools?
Yes.
Give me a sleight of hand check. It's advantage and disadvantage cancel out, so it's a straight roll.
Nat 20. Oh, never mind, 13. Nat 20.
13.
Advantage.
Crack, and you break your first hairpin.
Alright, let's try again and see if I can do it again. I'm gonna try again.
You try again.
25.
25. You pull out the other hairpin, 2 out of 3, and your hair falls almost completely out of the braid. It is a mess now, but you hear the click as you unlock her right hand.
Alright, let's try it again for the other hand. 16.
16, the hairpin snaps.
Eight prism cells as I go to pull the last hairpin out.
Your hair falls.
17.
A small little fairy shows up. Thank you. And a small little fairy shows up, apparently. But a 17 is the DC. It's what you need. So it tick, and with your last hairpin, you manage to unlock her right hand. Opal, you immediately feel terrible. Your stomach grumbles and your throat is dry. But you are free. You're now free to walk around this very small cell.
I'm going to start looking at the walls I've been staring at and imagining in my head for the last 14 days.
They're wrong.
And muttering about the composition of the rock. Okay, well, let's see if I was right and start going through the composition of the rock and see if I can tell who made it using my archaeologist background ability.
All right, go ahead and throw that up on the chat and make me a history roll.
$23.
So this original purpose feels like a dungeon, a prison. And oddly enough, as you're looking and you feel across the stone, you feel the seams between the stones. What looks solid is actually very, very faintly and perfectly fit together. This is of elven make.
Of all the designers I had previously thought created this place, Elvish is not among them, funny enough. How old is this place? Can I tell?
How old can you tell a place is?
Oh, I can't. More than a century old. I can determine if it's more than a century old. I can also see determine its purpose, it says.
It is more than a century old. This room has been empty for more than a century.
Oh, see if you can help me find a door, please.
I will then begin to look around the room.
You start digging around the room, touching the walls, feeling the walls. The only thing you see is that patch of moss as you come to this room, and Kalianna, something is wrong, but you can't, it's just out of reach.
Start muttering start counting the ceiling tiles again, 53, 1, 2, and start counting 20, 25, 30, 40, 53 ceiling tiles. I start counting the wall tiles again, and I just start muttering, something's wrong, and start moving my left hand again, just like almost like itching it, like what? Something's off.
Opal, what do you do?
I want to take a look at that moss.
You go up and you look at that patch of moss. It's about that big, maybe 6 inches by 6 inches. It's on the ground. It, like most of moss, is moist. Go ahead and make me a nature check. You might learn a whole lot more about moss than you've ever known in your life. I'm a biology major. With an 8, it's green. Actually, no, it would be red. It's red moss. You think. You can't tell because you're using dark vision, but it's dark-colored moss. Everything in this room is gray. But you touch it and it is soft and spongy. And whenever you do touch it, you feel a breath of fresh air.
I'm gonna poke it.
You feel another breath of fresh air.
Hey, Kalianna, there's something up with the moss. I don't know anything about it. Whenever I touch it, I feel like fresh, like a breath of fresh air.
Moss. I didn't take into account the moss. I'm gonna go up to the moss and try to look at it and see if that's the missing piece I haven't been able to figure out yet.
You go up to the moss. What do you want to do?
Is there a check I can make to see what type of moss this is?
Make me a nature check.
20?
20. This is red moss. In particular, it's a type of moss that thrives in environments that have either low oxygen or, low carbon dioxide, or low oxygen or low sunlight. You figure it's one of those three things. It produces oxygen at a very high rate compared to carbon dioxide received. If there is no air in this dungeon, there would be air in this cell because of a patch of moss. In particular, red moss does not rely on photosynthesis. At least not as a major component. It's a minor component, but let's not get too far into biology.
The moss is how we're able to breathe in here. Given that there's no sunlight or oxygen, this is how we're breathing. If we leave this room, there may not be oxygen. But we do have to leave this room. But there seems to be seams in the walls and the cracks, so there's got to be a way out. The only other alternative is that it was built around us. And as likely as I think that could be, I don't know how long that would have taken, at least more than 2 weeks to construct this around us in 2 weeks without any seams. So either the builders left a way out or it was built around us, and I'm really hoping it was the former.
Cask of Amontillado.
Did you notice any weak spots or anything in particular?
No, it was all excellently crafted. There's no one has been in this place besides us for a century, it seems, and it was crafted before. So there's got to be a way out.
Kalianna, you've checked these walls. You've checked over here and over here. Opal, you've checked this left wall here. And the patch of moss is right there between you.
Can I check this ladder wall over here?
Which one?
The last wall on the south. The south. I can't ping it, but the one on the south.
Ah, the south. You go to touch the wall to the south and your hand goes straight through it.
Is this why my number was off?
I need you to make an intelligence saving throw.
21.
The illusion fades of that far wall. And you see the cell is slightly bigger, but what you notice first is that there is a man chained to the wall. And he looks at you and he says, "Of course it's you. Just when the depths of my suffering could not get any deeper. Of course you're here. Tell me, how much did they pay you to finish this job, Viper?" The man has very handsome features, long elven ears, piercing purple eyes, and mid-length blonde hair that falls just perfectly. Currently, he's wearing a ripped-up tunic as he is chained to the wall above his head like you were. Kalianna, you know exactly who this is.
Sounds like you've got history with him.
Former employer, you could say. But now that that explains
that's
a
what
lot.
it is.
His presence is starting to make the puzzle pieces fit. He's probably the reason why we're in here. I can be assured now.
Just going to stand there all day, or are you going to start looking at the shrubberies again?
The red moss is how we're all able to breathe. Also, I don't know if you noticed, this place we're in was constructed by elves more than a century ago.
Well, no wonder why it works well enough to keep me chained. It's of elven make, proper.
Is there any parts of the room that I haven't looked at yet? There's the south wall, the north wall, east and west wall. What's on the ceiling?
I'm glad you asked that. Nobody ever looks up. You've looked up a lot since you've been here, and you've counted the ceiling tiles, and they were wrong. They were wrong every time. But now as you look up and you look down, the illusion has faded. Above, you see that there is almost like a mosaic on the ceiling, carved into this white stone that makes your prison cell, is the image of an individual, an armored man, and he is pointing a glaive outwards. And behind him are two large wings that look to be made of light, as he stands and flies amongst the heavens. And you see the point of this halberd, this glaive that the individual points at, corresponds on the floor. You can see what looks like it is a woman. She has a long forked tail and horns coming out of her head, bat wings as she lays on the ground and reaches her hand out to the edge of this glaive. An angel and a devil. The male, he looks at you and he says, "So, you've brutalized your way off of the wall. What exactly are you going to do now?"
We're going to fly. And I'm gonna look to Opal. I know you don't know me, so I know you don't trust me. However, I have a harebrained idea that might get us out of here. How strong are you?
Not too strong, but I'm pretty dexterous.
With enough momentum, do you think you'd be able to launch me? And I point to the spot on the ceiling the sword's pointing. To that spot.
Possibly?
When you say this, you see Caius. He does similar to what you tried to do, Opal, as he jumps up and pushes against the wall with his feet. But when he does it, his hands slip right out of the bonds as he lands in a perfect standing front flip with a 30 acrobatics check.
Show off.
What was the point of getting off the wall if there's no way out?
Obviously, you didn't look hard enough.
I'm sensing some major tension here, but can we kind of focus?
I am.
Where do you want me to throw you?
I point to the spot. I point to the spot the halberd's pointing at and just go right there.
I suggest down a cliff, but we're fresh out.
Alrighty, let's do this.
I would ask Caius to catch me if I fall, but I actually think he would purposely drop me.
I'll catch you. It didn't take you long to request to fall into my arms, did it? And then Opal launches you in the air, I guess?
Yeah, acrobatic style, like the trapeze artists, where they fling the person off your feet, kind of. That's the most easiest momentum using dex, I would think.
Yeah, you can do an acrobatics at disadvantage, or you can do an athletics check at advantage.
I'm gonna try athletics.
All right, Opal, make an athletics check. She's the one throwing. You're not throwing her. You're not keyed on.
Fair warning. Don't freak out when you see my feet.
What gods does that mean?
Tentacles.
Well, if you look down at my feet, you'll see hooves.
Ugh. Let's see over here. Acrobatics at disadvantage, you got a 10. So you go and you haven't stretched your legs out and your arms are still sore. And as you go to perform this roll, you time it wrong and you send her flying into the far wall.
Sorry.
The male, he starts laughing and he goes, well, that's one way to get through the wall. I agree with this plan wholeheartedly now. Yes, let's use her as a battering ram.
Get up, dust myself off. All right, that didn't work like I expected. New plan.
What's your goal?
I point to the ceiling where the sword's pointed. I think the picture is talking about how angels are getting out of here because they have wings, and the devils aren't because they don't have wings, and they're down because hell's down. And what? It's on the mural on the ceiling. He's looking at me like I'm crazy.
I'm not hearing a goal.
I need to be flung at the ceiling where the sword's pointing and hope that I can get out the way that the angel on the ceiling is pointing.
I can help you with that.
All right. Since I have no other choice.
So you move into position?
I move into position. He's going to throw me into the wall.
He stays where he is, and he looks at you, and he says, "Banished." Do you resist?
No.
You see as he yells "banished," and he raises his arm like this, and when he does, an updraft of air launches you straight up. A tremendous blast of air, and you're 5 foot square. You refuse to save, so since you're an unsecured creature, you are thrown 30 feet straight upward.
I really hope this plane works, otherwise that's going to hurt.
You get thrown 13 feet or 30 feet straight upward and slam into the ceiling. You take 13 points of bludgeoning damage.
Alright, so it can work.
When you hit the ceiling, you fall, and when you fall, you land on the devil's hand, and when you do, Kalianna falls through the floor like it's liquid.
That's not the way I thought that was going to work.
The male looks at you, Opal, and he goes, "Huh."
Yeah, that's not what I was expecting. Can I go look at the spot that she just went through the floor?
Yeah, you look down at that picture of the devil on the ground, her hand reaching out for something towards that glaive. And I mean, you're standing on it. It is solid stone.
I'm like looking down, I'm like tapping on the stone with my hoof.
Are you counting?
And then I'm going
Are you
to
counting?
No, I'm just trying to see if it gave way or anything. I'm gonna reach out for the put my fingertips where her fingers are.
It's carved so perfectly it feels flat, even though you can see it.
I want to try jumping.
Just a little fish?
Jumping as to see if I fall through like she did.
How high can you jump? Do you have anything special? As a base,
No.
characters in D&D can jump with a 10-foot head start. Your high jump is 3 plus your strength modifier. So what's that?
3?
Oh. You jump up, and you get 3 feet in the air, and then you slam down hard on the ground.
I'm gonna look at Caius, you said your name was?
I didn't, but she did, yes.
This is a stupid idea, but would you do what you did with her with me?
No, but I can try to throw you up there. It had hurt far less.
Sure. Sure.
Give me a hand and get ready.
All right, give him a hand. I'm ready.
He gets a 27 on the roll to launch you up. It's a straight roll because advantage and disadvantage cancel out. But he launches you straight up. You feel your feet touch the roof, and then you immediately start to fall head first, and you fall through the floor like water. Kalianna, you watch this happen above you. It's like you're looking up through water, but you're stuck, like you're stuck in a gel or an ooze or some sort of glue. You can't move. You're just sat there floating, looking up through the bottom of the floor, up at Caius, up at Opal. I hope Opal's not wearing a dress.
There are shorts on underneath.
Well, you see where the hooves end. And then Caius, you hear what he says, and he launches her up, and she falls through the floor. And now you are both stuck in this goo. And you cannot move. You cannot breathe. Panic sets in, Opal, as you go and you take a breath, but there is no pressure for you to fill your lungs. You are stuck in solid stone. Well, I guess it's up to me now. Tally ho. And Caius is going to get a running start. He's going to run straight at the wall and try to kip himself up to the roof. With a 30, that's going to work. He's real good at acrobatics. As with practiced efficiency and elven grace mixed into one, he launches himself at the wall, jumps 6 feet up the wall, pushes hard and launches himself another 6 feet up to the 10-foot ceiling, touches with one hand that glaive, and then dives downward into the stone with you. And the three of you are now stuck. Well, that was a great campaign, guys. Thanks for tuning in. No, I'm just playing. Whenever he enters, and all three of you, all three occupants of the room, enter into this space in between. It feels like someone opens the bottom. The bottom falls out, rushes out like water, and you are launched downward. And you hit the ground hard. You hit prone.
I'm going to stand up and try to see what's around me.
You're in a cinematic. Give me a second. In the suffocating darkness of this dungeon corridor, a grotesque figure lurks, its monstrous silhouette draped in rags of decayed cloth that hang like tattered funeral shrouds. The stench of rot fills the air, suffusing the atmosphere with the sickly sweet aroma of death. As the intruder's presence disrupts the oppressive stillness, this creature turns with a dreadful slowness, its movements accompanied by the sickening sound of flesh tearing against bone, bone cracking in ways it shouldn't, and a primal growl emanates from its twisted throat, a guttural warning of the horrors to come. Its features, distorted by decay and rot, contort into a horrific visage as it fixes its gaze upon you interlopers. A bestial roar bellows out that reverberates through the stale air of this dungeon, and it raises its grotesque weapon above its head, a femur stained with the blood of countless victims and crudely fashioned into a macabre club of death. With a sickening crack, it swings the grotesque weapon down at you, the air vibrating with the sheer force of its malevolent fury. You dodge out of the way, rolling as bone and stone splinter under the weight of the blow. Shards of femur hurtling through the darkness like deadly projectiles toward your eyes. A lethal, diseased rain that threatens to pierce our heroes' defenses and tear them asunder. In the face of this unholy monstrosity, terror grips your heart like icy claws. And so begins our tale, Thronescape, Captives and Crowns, with a harrowing battle for survival, as the heroes confront the horrors that lurk in the depths of this abyss, and everything else that stands in your path. Roll initiative.
I'll shout to Opal. I really hope you can fight as I get into a fighting position.
You have no weapons.
Oh, I know. That's why I'm really hoping she can fight.
I got this. I get into just ha.
And nat 1 for Opal.
You don't got this.
Don't be afraid to key on for last, guys. It lets me know I'm doing well. So you were prone on the ground. A monster smashes a femur into the ground at you, and you roll out of the way, Kalianna. And you're prone on the ground, just like your companions. You're weaponless and abandoned in this dark corridor. What would you like to do?
I have my movement to stand up, and then can I see the picture has weapons sticking out of him? Is there one I can grab that I'd be able to wield? It looks like there's a sword in his right pec. Yeah, can I grab something out of him?
You know what? That's pretty cool. Rule 0. Make me an athletics check.
I hope this goes better than the last one.
And he's going to make an acrobatics check.
Yeah, 13. Unless I have my abilities back, then I'd like to use my psionic dice. Oh, never mind.
He got a grand total. He rolled a 2 and got a grand total of 0 on the acrobatics check. So you roll up and use your action, and you yank forth a rapier from him.
Awesome. I can fight with this.
Let me add that to your character sheet.
Now we're talking, and I'm going to move into a proper fighting position now.
But that took your action.
Bonus action, I'm going to switch my focus into iron durability.
So you take a second and you refocus yourself and you harden your skin like iron. Anything further, or do you stay there?
I'm going to stay there.
Its turn. It sees you stand, and it's going to turn, and it's going to slam down on Opal, who is still prone and next to you. At advantage. It's an 18 to hit Opal.
That barely hits. That is my easy.
So it's going to be 18 points of bludgeoning damage. This guy slams this bone hard down into you. And I need you to make a save against a poison. I believe you have advantage on poison saves, right? There's Abyssal Tiefling.
Yes.
17. You manage to fortify yourself as these bone shards stick into you, and you can feel the nasty all over this rotted piece of flesh that just embedded itself on you. He slams into you and he bellows out a roar. Caius'
That's
turn. Caius,
nasty.
stand up. I'm sorry?
That's nasty.
That's nasty. Welcome to the first fight of the campaign, guys. Heroes. Great heroes. Caius. Caius is going to look at Kalianna. He's going to say, I guess we've no choice but to work together. And he grabs your hand, and you can feel wind surround your blade as he uses bonus action to give you guiding wind. And he's going to move along the side of this thing. He's going to say, back here, you big oaf, and he's going to start bashing on as he gives the help action. Opal, you rolled a nat 1. Between that mighty blow and the fall, you were just stunned. You can't react to what's going on. You can't process this monstrosity of necromantic power before you. You lose your turn. Kalianna.
I'm going to move up 5 feet. And then I'm going to attack with my rapier.
Go ahead and roll at advantage, and if you hit, you get to add a d6 of damage.
Nice. That's a 13 at advantage. So I think that's
13 hits.
Oh.
This guy is incredibly slow-moving and soft and squishy, with a squelch as you stab this sword back into him where you got it from.
Pull it back out. I don't think I can attack as a bonus action, can I?
No. Why did it turn that off? Hold on. Go ahead and press rapier on the chat box to roll your damage. That's not it.
That worked that time. It looks like 11 damage.
There we go. 11 damage plus 3 from Guiding Winds is 14 points of piercing damage.
Yep.
Big damage. Anything further?
I don't think I have my bonus action to parry yet, do I? So I think I'm just going to... I think that's going to be my turn. Yeah, that's going to be my turn.
All right, its turn. It didn't like that, so it's going to take a swing at Opal, who's still prone. Oof, that's a 25 to hit for another 13 and a con save. As he takes that bone and he swings it around at you, Kalianna, and you dodge out of the way. But when you do, he follows through on the blow and slams into Opal's midsection. And you hear the sound of ribs cracking. 16, understood. 16. Oof. All right, but he slams into you. Opal's starting to cough up blood. She doesn't look good as she is bloodied. And it is Caius' turn. Caius growls out in frustration. He's going to step here. He holds both his hands in front of him, and a mighty gust of wind issues forth. So he's going to use Blast.
I forgot to add sneak attack to my damage because I forgot I'm a rogue.
Go ahead. You did have an ally within 5 feet. Roll a d6.
I did. I completely forgot I'm a rogue. Like, it's gonna take a bit to get used to. 6.
Nice.
There you go, Opal's corpse.
I think the ally he was.
So he takes another
Caius.
6. I'm sorry, what?
I was just saying, I think that you were referring to Caius because he was on the other side of it, causing flanking.
Well, any of the allies within 5 feet for sneak attack. But particularly, yeah, either one of those would count. Caius goes over, though, and he creates this 15-foot cone, and a loud ringing of rushing air bellows out. And when it does, this guy makes a dexterity saving throw. He rolls an 8, so he will take 16 points of thunder damage. And creatures in the area, as he blows out this storm energy, Opal, you get a mouthful of water. And it is forced down your throat, but when it does, you feel your ribs break back into place as you're healed for half the damage dealt, as you heal for 8.
Hooray!
And then Caius will move back into position over here, trying to get this thing's attention. And with a bonus action, he will use droplets. As you see 3 motes of that storm water reform and come back to him and start orbiting around him. And that will be his turn. Opal. You've had a very interesting 12 seconds.
Yeah. I'm
You've
going to
been
use half my
eaten
movement
and
to stand
filled
up.
and squashed like an accordion and almost diseased twice.
You know, just another day in the neighborhood. But yeah, half my movement to stand up. And I'm going to unleash on it with my unarmed strike. And I'm going to use one of my key points to do flurry of blows. So I'm going to throw 3 attacks at it.
All of your attacks are advantage for flanking. "23 hits, 19 hits, and 18 hits for 8, 7, 8, 9. So that's 15 and 9 is 24 points of damage to this thing. As you just sort of hip up and you just start punching as hard as you can. And when you do, you punch and ripples of flesh as bone cracks. Boom, boom, boom.
Monks, baby.
Anything else? You still have half your movement. Want to run away to catch your breath or hide or...
No, staying right there.
Kalianna, what is your passive perception?
15, because I can't add the D4 to it. So I believe it's a 15.
Understood. What would you like to do?
I'm going to attack again with my rapier. Let's see if it works this time. Yep, 22 to hit with 6 for damage.
Your attack's at advantage for flanking. So it's a 25 to hit for 6 points of piercing damage. As you just once again bury the rapier up to its hilt in this undead monstrosity. Is that counting your sneak attack? No, it's not.
Nope, I forgot that again. I'm going to have to remember that. 4 for sneak attack.
Go ahead and just click the sneak attack button on your character sheet.
Oh, there that is. Okay.
Yeah, just keep that on, and we'll remember to add or subtract it as needed. Because it's going to show up on the side like the guidance is, or the bless is.
Perfect. Yep, okay. So I have that on now, but that's going to be my turn. I'm going to bonus action parry again since I'm not moving.
You can't do that. Not until level 3.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's right. Okay.
We're only level 2, so you can bonus action cunning action. You have that. You can disengage or dash or aim.
I'm okay where I am. Still on my turn.
All right. Caius did the most damage, so this thing's going to turn around and try to slam down on him. Actually, no, the monk did more damage than Caius. I'm going to roll 1d2 to see which he is. Christina, do you want odds or evens?
Evens.
He goes for you.
Of course, that's my luck.
That's a 13 to hit you.
No.
So he comes at you with a third mighty blow, trying to aim at you, but this time you're ready for it, and you just sort of dodge to the side and get ready to come in for another full round of attacks against him. And when he does, Caius takes this opportunity and he reaches out, and you see him sort of launch his hand like this, and you can see congealed pools of blood and water get dragged out of this creature towards Caius as I'm going to use Siphon. Add advantage for flanking. That's a crit.
First crit of the game, I believe.
That's great.
So that's going to be 25 points of necrotic damage to it. And you see as that ball of gel that he gets goes flying straight towards you, Opal, as you it gets shoved down your throat and you gain 25 health.
I don't know if I'm going to get killed by being squashed or drowned.
And when he does, you see that one of these droplets mix it. Actually, no, that brings you to full health, doesn't it?
Sure
It does. Half of that went wasted because it was a crit. Fantastic. That's a good problem to have. So with his bonus action, he will do... nothing. I choose to do nothing. That's my turn. Yep, fantastic. Opal, your turn.
Same verse, same as the first. Going all three.
Let's see here. We have a 25, a 14, and a 24. So you will do 9, 6, and 9. 18 and 6 is going to be 24 points of bludgeoning damage to this thing. As you once again focus your blows in that same area on its spine. Blam, blam, blam. It's rotted flesh and fat rippling as you focus in on the spine, trying to break its spine from the outside in. It's not looking too good, Kalianna. It's your turn. This thing is starting to bend and break in different directions. What would you like to do?
I'm going to attack with my rapier again as an action.
Add advantage with sneak attack because of flanking.
14 for a total of 8.
Good thing you had advantage. 14's going to hit for 8 points of damage.
Perfect. And then as a bonus action, I'm going to stay where I am. That's going to be my turn.
You stab straight through this thing, and when you do it stands back up. And it's going to go and slam at you. What did you do with your bonus action? I'm sorry?
I didn't do anything with it.
But it slams at you with a 13 to hit you.
Miss.
Crashes into the ground, bones splintering. Caius' turn. He's going to use his action to do Guiding Winds on Opal. As you see the breeze sort of float and surround a miniature tornado around your hands. And that will be his turn. Opal, that will be his turn.
Oh, this is going to be great. I'm going at it again.
All right, your first hit gets to add a d6 of damage. $11 will hit, 17 will hit, 15 will hit, 20 will hit. For 7, 6, 9, go ahead and roll me a d6. Ooh, 5. So 7 and 5 is 12. So he needs a DC 17 con save. 19 with the first. Second one is 6 points of damage. DC 11 con save. Nat 20. Third is 9, so DC 14 con save. 19, as you crash into him and you hear bones break and crack with every single one, but as you do, you see this sickly green necromantic energy stitch the spine back into place. So you break it again and it stitches back into place again as its eyes level at you, and you try to break it a third time. The same thing happens as he holds on with his undead fortitude. He lets out a growl. Kalianna.
I'm gonna go. Hopefully, I fare better than Opal, and I'm gonna stab him and hopefully end it. Because this thing just keeps taking it, and she looks like it hurts.
Oof.
To hit with a total of 16 damage.
So a DC 21 con save. As you stab into this thing, straight through its head this time, up from the bottom because of its massive height, almost 9 feet tall. You stab into it. When you do, it starts to fall, and you withdraw the blade, and its eyes just level at you. Body just sort of hanging there off its skeleton. As it reaches down, it's going to slam down another swing. With a 23 to hit Kalianna.
I would like to, as a reaction, spend a power point to add 2 to my AC and have that miss.
So you spend a power point on iron durability, and you see as this thing hits a patch of Kalianna's skin right underneath the blow, Opal turns into steel. Actual metal gleaming, and you hear a loud twang as this bone connects. That's his turn.
Because I spent a power point, I would also heal.
You heal 1 point. I believe.
That is correct. It's 1 for every power point I spend.
All right, because of Mystic Fortitude. Let's go ahead and throw that on the chat box so everyone can see it. There it is, Mystic Recovery. You draw power. Once per turn, when you spend side points on a discipline of your order, you regain hit points equal to your intelligence modifier. Oh,
that's 5.
because iron durability is part of the Order of Immortal, you gain 5 hit points instead of 1.
Yeah.
As you just can't die. Caius has no weapon, so he's going to try another siphon. A 23 to hit for 9 points of damage. DC 14 con save. As he yanks out 9 points and sends this congealed ball straight hurling towards you, Kalianna, and you gain 9 points of health. As it shoves down your throat, it feels terrible. What?
Why won't this thing fall already? As I go to prepare to stab into him again.
Blasted undead, be gone with you! Opal.
Correct me if I'm wrong in remembering this. As a monk, I can do a bonus action as just 1 hit, right? Without spending key points?
Correct.
Okay, then I'm just going to do a standard attack and a bonus action attack because I don't want to use too many key points.
Roll twice at advantage. (21 and 22 both hit. 9 for DC 14, 6 for DC 10. So he gets a 16 and an 11 as he just will not fall. You change your strategy and you start doing downward hammer fist blows right onto his femur, and you can hear the sickening crack as they break, and he goes to take a knee, and then it breaks back into place, and he stands back up. Kalianna.
I'm switching to my hooves next.
I'm gonna get ready to stab this thing again, and hopefully this thing goes down. Man, this thing just won't die. This is the sturdiest undead I think I've ever faced.
12 is going to hit for 16 points of damage. DC 21.
Finally!
He rolls a 6 as you focus down and you jump up. And when you do with all that force, you feel the winds carry you as they catch you. And you launch yourself straight through this thing's chest. And you're covered in blood and gore and viscera of untold ages as this thing hits the ground dead. You take a second as you catch your breath. What would you like to do? As the din of battle fades, you see that you are in a long hallway. It splits. One way headed north, the other way headed south, both ways lit with wall sconces bearing heatless, continual flames. The warden of this prison returns, the darkness, the quiet, the silence. And you see that there's a large door next to you.
Let's give ourselves a moment to catch our breath before we continue. This probably won't be the only thing we're going to be fighting in here.
Caius says, I'm glad to see that you still possess some talent with blade. But I'm also glad that you don't need blades, because we're at a shortage. Tell me, do you sharpen those things? And he looks down at your hooves.
Sometimes.
I'll remember this.
I think, though, after we take a moment, we try to find any sort of gear for you to better protect yourselves.
I'm not very good with big-ass bone. But you're more than welcome to his weapon if you're good at it.
No, I'm good.
Kalianna, I know you're proficient with just about any weapon you touch, especially betrayal. Do you want his great club?
No, I'm fine, thanks.
That tension from earlier just got even thicker.
Well, archaeologist, which way is out? Do you need to play around with the rock some more?
Yes, but I assume it's through the door that we haven't been in yet. I'm going to quietly and trying to stealth, just in case there's people ahead of us, go through and peek through the next door. I think you said there was one more, a corridor where it splits.
So you guys are right next to a door. And then the corridor goes upwards and southwards. It splits in two directions. It forks.
I'm going to check the door first.
This door, it's an iron door with a stone handle. And you go to jiggle the handle, it is locked.
Oh, great. I'm going to go try to pick the lock again, I guess.
Make me a straight roll, because you don't have actual thieves' tools. You just have a hairpin.
Can I use my Sonic talent dice on this?
You can, but you don't need to, because 14's enough.
Okay, cool.
You hear the lock click, and when it does, you hear a sickening twang.
By the TV. Well, that sounded wonderful.
And the door clicks open, and when it does, an arrow shoots straight down into your forearm on the handle. You take 7 points of piercing damage.
Wow.
But the door opens. Congratulations.
I am going to walk. I'm going to walk in there and see if I can see anything in there.
1 second. Inside, you see a dank and dingy cell. There is an angel on the ceiling, a devil on the floor, and a single patch of moss.
I'm disappointed. I leave the room.
Did you just get stabbed trying to re-enter our own prison cell?
Not a word, Caius. Not a word.
I agree. There isn't a word for this. Yet.
I'm gonna start looking at the path to the north that splits to the left, trying to stick to the left.
Come here. That looks painful. He grabs you by the arm and he looks at the arrow sticking out of it. He goes, I take no shortage in the amount of pleasure that this is going to hurt. And he snaps the arrow and it hurts real bad. He pulls it out of your arm and you watch the flesh start to knit back together slowly. You yelp out in pain whenever he does this, as he locks eyes with you first. Tossing the broken arrow.
Grab the arrow. Grab the arrowhead.
You got it.
I might be able to use it for something to cut a rope or something later if I need to.
So are you headed north or are you headed south?
I think I'm going to head north. Is there a difference in the paths? Can I use my archaeology background to see if there's a difference? But if there isn't a difference, I'm just going to stick to the left side and go north and hopefully stick to the outer wall of whatever this is, like a maze.
So as you look north, you see that this opens into a wider chamber. Oh, you can't see my arrow. Hold on. You can see that this opens into a wider chamber. You see a large set of double doors up here. You see a smaller set of double doors here. Right here in front of this sconce, you can just barely make out the edge of a chest.
My loot senses are tingly. I'm going to stealth and go that way.
So you want to go to the chest?
But I'm going to stealth because I anticipate a trap. It's too obvious. Why would they put a chest in a dungeon? I mean, it's a prison or whatever. We're prisoners here. I'm anticipating it's a trap. I'm going.
Opal, do you follow? Do you go your own way? Do you split the party?
No, I do not split the party. I follow after her, stealthing as well.
Make your stealth checks.
23. The hair.
14. No, 10.
10. Go ahead and move your character down the arrow. You sneak forward, and as you do, Opal, you hit a wet spot, and you tumble over a little bit, and you, crap! And it echoes loudly.
My bad.
As you get closer, you can see that above this chest, Kalianna, there's this iron and wooden chest. Someone has scrawled, Sandri Giddison was here. And jagged steel blades in the shape of a body project out from the wall. A bunch of blades that would form what looks like a silhouette of a body over the top of the chest. And the bottom half actually stick into the chest. As if there was some trap here that was long ago triggered and stuck.
I'm going to double check because I'm paranoid that there might be a second one. Or that since it's been however long it's been recharged, I'm gonna make a perception check to check for that.
Okay.
14.
14. The trap seems stuck, and you notice that the chest isn't even locked. It's just sitting there clean.
2 new compatriots and open the chest.
I didn't hear what you said.
I'm gonna look at my 2 new compatriots and open the chest.
All right, you look at your 2 new compatriots and you open the chest. The chest should have appeared and it should talk to you.
The map.
If you hover your mouse over it, it should tell you what's in it. As you open it, and you see coins. I would like to take this moment to remind you that every 50 coins weighs 1 pound.
Oh, I know, but man, my loot senses were tingling. I knew it was.
2,700 copper pieces, 1,600 silver pieces, and 60 gold pieces.
That's a lot of coins, but we currently don't have a way to carry.
You don't have any sacks, you don't have any bags. And from where you're standing here, you can see that trap that is stuck into the back of the chest, rendering it inert and immobile. There is a door here, there is a door here, and then the pathway extends southward and it forks to the southeast and southwest.
So there's 2 doors.
There is. There's a small one right next to you here. And then there's a very large double door over this way.
Okay, I'm gonna check the small door right in front of us real quick, see if it's locked, see if it's trapped, then see if it's locked, then open said door, so maybe if there's a bag or something right there, hopefully we'll get lucky.
1 second. The door is made out of solid bone. And when you go, it is not locked. The handle turns, but it is stuck.
Motion for the door and step out of the way, and motion to Opal's hoofs.
I do little tappy taps. I'm ready to kick it.
Yeah, Caius, he's going to back away and he's going to say, I believe you're going to do great. Are you trying to athletics this door open or break it open?
Breaking it open would cause me to make an attack against it, right?
Yes.
Then I would like to break it.
All right, move your character up to the door, please, and roll your attack roll. So you focus your energies and you slam your hoof with a back kick into the door, and you hear the bones start to crack and break. It's still holding strong, but it is starting to break.
I kick it again.
Make another attack roll. Caius starts applauding as you kick it a second time, and the door still stands firm, though it cracks a little bit more, radiating and spidering out. The sound of hoof clanging off of bone echoing in the stone hallways downwards. Boom, 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 boom.
I'm gonna look at Kalianna. Want me to do more?
Let me try and see if we can open it a different way that won't draw every enemy in the vicinity to us.
I mean, you already
I'm gonna try and
might as well finish the job.
Yeah, fair enough.
Wait.
At your leisure.
I'm gonna kick it and bonus action kick it.
Roll 2 attacks.
You have a lot of pent-up anger issues. I'll say to her. She's like taking out all of her frustrations on this door.
You have a lot of pent-up anger issues, she says, as you just focus and bam, bam, punch twice. The door splinters open and breaks. And you see rotted individuals turn their heads towards you, shriek out, and launch themselves at you. As the Guardians are well aware of what you're doing, and they get a surprise round off. Roll initiative. So inside this room, you can see torn and disheveled shelves and 3 open coffins, broken open, as these 3 undead individuals launch themselves towards you, ringing out, "Rah!" And they're going to make 3 attacks against Opal. That's a 15, an 18, and a nat 20 to hit Opal.
The 15 doesn't hit.
So the first one connects at you and grabs and rips your hair as he grabs you by the hair and yanks you towards him as his hand comes slamming down for 7 points of damage. And while that one does that, the other one takes and grabs at your neck for another 8 points of damage, for a total of 15. I may have forgot to mention, this is a deadly campaign, so keep that in mind, guys. But you're going to do great. You are doing great. But that is their surprise round. Kalianna, you see as Opal releases that pent-up aggression, and then a momentary second passes as it draws out too long, and your senses tell you something bad's going to happen. As you watch her get yanked up by the hair, and rotted fists start pounding on her.
I'm going to use my Mark of the Sentinel, and I'd like to mark her as my ward so I can switch places with her on her next attack, on the next time she's attacked.
What kind of action is that?
As a bonus action to mark as a ward. It's a reaction to switch. And I'm going to move up to still attack. Here, and I'm going to attack this one first.
Make your attack roll with sneak attack for an ally within 5 feet.
Well, that's a 12 to hit. I don't think that's going to hit.
A 12 will hit as you take that rapier and just stab it straight through this thing's soft, gummy, undead flesh for 12 points of damage.
And then bonus action, I'm not going to do anything just yet, but I am going to wait for the opportune moment, because I'm sure they're going to attack her again to switch spots with her.
All right. Opal. These things have a hold of you by the hair. It's unpleasant as they're trying to yank you into this room.
Which one was the one that did the crit on me?
Top left.
I'm going after that one. With flurry of blows.
So rapid fire, 3 kicks from the hooves. Nat 1's not going to hit. 8's not going to hit. 21 is going to hit for 8 points of damage. So you kick 3 times. The first kick you hit and it just sloughs off a hunk of rotting flesh that goes slamming against the side wall. You kick with the other foot, and when you do, it just completely misses as he unnaturally fast moves out of the way and twists his torso. And then you come up with a final kick and you connect into his shin, and you hear bones splinter and crack for 8 points of bludgeoning damage. That brings us to Caius' turn. Caius yells, "Enough!" and sends another cone of air and storm surging forward. They have to make dexterity saving throws. All 3 fail and will take 11 points of thunder damage. And additionally, on a failed save, creatures are pushed away from you to the end of the cone until they encounter a solid object. So, and because it's water and air, creatures regain a number of hit points equal to half of the damage rolled. So 11 turns to 5 points of healing to Opal. And these guys are going to go flying 15 feet. Well, it says to the edge of the cone, so they fly there. And he's going to expend a droplet. To add another 4 points of healing to Opal. That's Caius' turn. As that storm of energy slams forward and coalesces into a ball that slams into you again and covers your broken wounds. Their turn. They are stupid zombies, so they're going to move right back to where they were. Oops, there we go. That's going to be 1 attack at Caius and 2 at Opal. It's a 6 to hit Caius, a 5 to hit Opal, and an 11 to hit Opal.
I was holding a reaction to whenever one attacked Opal, so whenever one goes to swing at Opal, I will use my Vigilant Guardian ability from Mark of the Sentinel and switch spots with her as a reaction.
So as this zombie shuffles forward to you unnaturally, its body moving in ways that it shouldn't, Opal, you feel something grab you from behind again, but this time it's Kalianna on your shoulders, and she switches spots with you as these attacks fly out at her and miss. It is now your turn, Kalianna.
Perfect. I'm going to attack the one that me and Caius are both within 5 feet of, the one I've been attacked last time.
All right. You will get sneak attack. Ooh, for 16 points of damage.
Yep.
DC 21. Don't you love Undead Fortitude? As you stab into this thing through its head and it starts to fall, you withdraw your blade to get ready for a second swing, and that energy cracks and tumbles it back up. And Opal.
I'm going to do a standard and a bonus action hit on the one that I can reach.
Go for it. Make your 2 attacks. "23 hits for 8, DC 13, he gets a 19. 20 hits for 6, DC 11, he gets a 20. So you start pounding bones into oblivion, and he refuses to fall.
It's like the big boy all over again.
Caius moves into a flanking position, reaches out and grabs the thing by the back of the head and hits it for 9 points of necrotic damage and sends 9 points of health to Kalianna. Oh, Kalianna's at full health, I think.
So I was like, I didn't know I got damaged.
Opal, then, who is back at full health again. DC 14. As it crumbles into dust. Their turn. This guy is dead, but the other two... One's going to attack Kalianna, one's going to attack Caius. So that's a 13 to hit Caius, 13 to hit Kalianna, and a nat 1 to hit Caius. As they both reach out and scrambling, try to grab and beat and break the life out of you. Kalianna.
Alright, I'm gonna attack the one that attacked me, so this one, that's not pinging, but the one directly in front of me.
Yep, that's the one directly in front of you.
18 to hit for 8. Or actually, no, it'd just be 1 because that, or 7 because I don't have sneak attack.
You do not have sneak attack, so it would be an 18 to hit for 7, but that does hit. You stab into it, straight through its abdominal section. You don't feel it hit anything solid.
That'll be my turn. I don't have anything as bonus action.
Opal.
I can walk on the body of the dead one, right?
Yes, you can.
Cool. Then I'm going to move up into that empty spot where the one guy was, and I'm going to throw hands at the one directly in front of me.
Roger that.
Random question, because I just looked at my character sheet and saw my feet. Alert adds 5 to your passive perception, right?
Your initiative.
Okay, I wanted to make sure.
That's why you roll like 10 to initiative. "22 absolutely hits, 21 absolutely hits. So you roll up, and when you do, you give him a quick 1-2. The first one to the chest, and you hear the sternum start to crack. The second one, you go for an uppercut with your other hand, and when you do, it's like one of those old 80s toys where he and his neck extends up. DC 14, but he gets a 5, so when he does, it just sort of lobs the head to the ground and dies.
Yay.
Caius is going to use a cantrip. As he focuses his eyes and a beam of purple energy hits the zombie in the head. It makes an intelligence saving throw. And takes 3 points of psychic damage in his bane. Alright, that is Caius' turn. The zombie is going to reach out and try to hit Kalianna. It's trying to grab what used to be a braid. Grabbing you by the head and slamming it into the wall, attempting to. It has an 18 to hit you.
18 misses.
Then that makes it your turn. Yeah, I just have a middle armor class, 18 misses.
I'm going to attack with my rapier again.
Alright, go ahead and make your attack roll. Would you like me to make your attack roll? She says no, but a 16 will hit. You have an ally within 5 feet, so you do get sneak attack damage, so 10 points of damage.
That'll be my turn. I got nothing as a bonus action.
So this time you take your rapier and you grab it as a reverse grip and you slam it down straight through the soft part between the shoulder and neck. And it goes straight through its body. You see the point exit below the ribs on the opposite side before yanking it back out. Viscera spraying out, and this thing is still standing. Opal.
I'm going to move up to stand on the other body and 1-2.
It's very squishy. That one's going to miss. As you go to step, you lose your footing and you slip off of its chest and onto your hoof hits the ground loudly, throwing off your punch, but you quickly recover with a 12 to hit for 8 points of damage. DC 13 as its head slams against the wall and you hear a sickening thud, and then the head just rolls back forward.
That's my turn.
Caius reaches out and withdraws another siphon with a 17 to hit for 7 necrotic damage, DC 12. As he withdraws the last of its life force and sends 7 points of healing to Kalianna. Kalianna, this thick, viscous juice from the zombie finds itself all over you, healing wounds that don't exist. And you see Caius smirk. As the din of battle fades. Well, it seems they don't need to pay their wardens or guards. They populated this entire place with dead.
Smart move. I'm going to start walking into the room to check to see if there's anything I can use to make as a... I don't want to call it a hobo sack, but it's pretty much a hobo sack. It's the fabric on a stick, and I'm going to use that with one of the bones and maybe some clothes of fabric if they have any on them. I'm going to start putting some of the money in it.
Go ahead and walk in and make me an investigation check. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . .
That's a 7.
As you look around in this room, you really don't focus on anything until you see a perfectly clean chest.
That's suspicious.
I don't see why.
The chest hasn't aged at all in a century.
It is elven made. It's really well made. I don't know.
Is there a piece of bone or something I can throw at this chest to see if it turns into a mimic?
Yeah, you throw a piece of zombie at the chest. It clambers off.
No time like the present, and I'm gonna go walk up to it.
It waits menacingly.
I'm gonna follow up into the room so that she's not by herself.
You go past these 3 coffins to the chest. Caius stands by the door.
Wait a minute to see if the chest reacts to us being close, and then I'm going to slowly open it with the tip of my blade if it's not locked.
It is not locked. It should speak to you if you hover on it.
Hey, it's our backpacks!
It might be. Let's see. Kalianna, you're number 1. You're number 2, Christina, and Caius will be number 3. It contains Christina's starting equipment.
No, use it right way.
What's my favorite bag? I will gather up my belongings.
So tell me what's in there. On top of the 12 gold, 14 silver, and 20 copper.
So there's just, a common bag, which has been well loved. A little bag of sand, some pages, just blank pages I like to draw.
Doodles.
Little doodles, got a book of lore. Oh, look, my favorite blanket. Little scroll case. Open it up, make sure all my notes are still in there, close it back up, Oh, look, my ink. Oh, I hope that didn't spill. Let's see. Oh, look. Oh, I pick up a little ball that just kind of sparkles a little bit. Yay! Put it in my pocket. Gotta pull out my daggers, check them over. My quarterstaff. Oh, look, favorite sickle.
Just pulling out random stuff. I'm just watching, like, what is she doing with the sand? Still making the hobo sack.
Did I hear you say 2 daggers?
You sure did.
I would very much appreciate use of one of those.
Sure, they're mainly backups. I use my fist, so yeah. I pulled one out for them.
Basically code for their decoration, but they looked pretty. Make a nice clink clink sound in my backpack as I walk.
He will gladly arm himself.
If there's nothing else in here, I'm gonna turn to them and suggest we check the doors to our south just to make sure there's no one that's going to come up behind us before we continue on. I think these doors to the north might lead further into the this place.
There's the 3 coffins that look like they were broken out of from the inside that you haven't looked at. But other than that, there's nothing else in here.
I'm going to take one and motion for Opal to take another as we search.
The coffin?
Yeah, I need fabric for my hobo stick.
There's no fabric in here that's worth any hobo sacks.
Okay. If there's nothing in the coffin, then I'm going to... Is there an inscription on the coffin lid or anything?
On the coffin lids are broken. But in the bottom of the coffins, you see that there are... Each of them have a single key. One is made of bronze, one is made of brass, and one is made of copper.
I'm going to take those keys for later.
Very well, you take all 3 keys.
And then I'm going to start walking back towards the south and see what the hallways down there were like, because I don't want to have enemies come up behind us while we're trying to go further north.
Well, it seems like Kalianna's taken the job of leader. By all means, go first. You always were a good arrow catch. Why have you come here to torment me? You never answered.
I wasn't brought here of my own free will.
Oh yes, of course. It must be someone else's fault.
As your pet slipped its leash again, Caius. Keep walking.
And what about you, Opal? I find someone from hell less repugnant than her company. Tell me, how did you find yourself here? You weren't hired to kill me. Were you?
First off, I'm not from. I'm from Amestrius. And second, I don't know who you are, so no, I wasn't sent to kill you. I fell short.
Lovely this time of year. Harvest season in Golden Fields, isn't it?
That's right.
He says, lovely this time of year. Harvest season out in Golden Fields, isn't it?
That's right.
Whereabouts? Surely not the city of 3 Peaks.
No, I live in the capital.
Of course you do. That's interesting. Kalianna, which way are you going to go?
I think I'm going to go to this bigger open area. This place looks interesting. I'm going to go this way.
Okay. You head down. You see that there are stone pillars in the center of this very wide hallway. And extending from the stone pillars to the left and the right both ways are large, heavy chains that are from the top, dangle downward in an arc and connect to the far wall. There are many doors. Doors here, here. There's hallway here and here. Another hallway here. And it continues down southwards as far as you can make out with your dark vision.
I'm going to check the closest door, which I believe the one is on my right.
You go up to the door. It is locked.
You don't keep spare bobby pins in your bag, do you?
to get a new one. But no, I don't really do much with my hair, to be honest. I probably need to cut it.
I'm gonna take my remaining bobby pin and see if I can open the door without breaking it.
If you want to cut your hair, I can help you with that. And he holds a dagger.
Maybe when we're not in the middle of wherever this place is.
Celebration for our harrowing escape from prison. While hounded by assassins. A 15 will open the door.
Just glare at him as he says that. I know he's openly talking about me. So we go into the room.
You walk into this room and you see a cramped cell with 2 beds opposite each other. There's no one in here.
The cell looked remarkably different in make compared to ours, like made for a different prisoner almost.
Yeah, there's beds in here. Yours had chains on wall. 3 sets of chains on a wall, all facing each other in a patch of moss. This has 2 beds and a patch of moss.
Whoever's staying in here is more VIP status than us.
That are less secured.
I'm gonna leave and go to the next door.
So you see a hallway here, and this hallway has 3 doors. And then you see another door here. Going to the hallway?
I'm gonna stick to the one in this hallway first before we branch off.
Alright, this door is locked.
I'm gonna murmur, I know there's no gods listening because you guys never listen whenever I'm in jail or underground or something, but please don't let this bobby pin break. So I'm gonna go pick the lock again.
Some god that always listens to you, and she is enjoying this a lot.
$16.
The door opens. You see 2 beds opposite each other. There is a single patch of moss on the ground. There are no inhabitants.
There's that dang moss again.
Be far enough under something that there's no oxygen circulating in. This is the only oxygen here. Given that there's undead, they don't need to breathe either, so we're far beneath the reaches of oxygen. Which means there's also no circulation system. So however, I have no idea how we're going to get out if there's no circulation system for air. But let's keep going. I'm going to go down the hallway if there's no more doors down this way. Going down that hallway that splits real quick before going.
Well, let's see. There's a hallway here. You can see that there's a hallway here, as well as a hallway this way. And then in the south, it goes here and here, where it splits. The southeast.
Yeah, I'm going to go back up here. Go back up here real quick before I go down farther to make sure that
yeah,
it
you
ends.
go here and you see 3 sets of doors. 1, 2, and 3.
I'll open this one on my right first. Right here, is it locked?
The door is locked.
Oh, man. Try it again. 14.
The door opens. Inside, you see 2 beds opposite each other. There is a single patch of red moss.
Next door.
The door is locked.
Do these fit my keys by any chance?
There are no keyholes on these doors.
Drop. Okay, I'm gonna try to fix this lock again.
Yep.
21.
The door opens. You see two beds opposite each other. There is a single patch of red moss on the ground.
The last door on this hallway, and hopefully this is the last one.
The door is locked.
23. My luck is gonna run out here soon.
The door opens. You see a single bed on the wall with a single patch of red moss on the ground. There's something wrong
really
with
prepared
this.
this place. I'm gonna go in there and look around then.
With your intelligence, you're pretty clever. You see that this room is much smaller than the wall is long outside.
I'm gonna start searching that wall for a indentation of the stone that looks like it might open somewhere, another door or something.
You search and try as much as you might. Make me an investigation check.
$22.
You are certain that there's nothing like that on this wall.
Can I check another wall? See if there's anything else that might explain why what's in the rest of this area?
You search the rest of the room and you're unable to find it.
I want to go across the hall from the last room at the end of the hall, like across the way from where the door is there. I want to take a look at that spot.
Make an investigation check as you look at the wall. It is made of the same stone as everywhere around here, but you're checking it out. When you look really hard, the stone actually forms a pattern of what looks almost like a giraffe. It's pretty pleasant. If you squint your eyes and tilt your head, it looks like the giraffe is sleeping.
Oh, I tried. You just walk back out into the hallway and you see me staring at the wall with my head tilted like, what the heck?
Well, that didn't take long. She's cracked.
There's something off about this room, but I can't place what's wrong with it. Can I go back in there and see if I can, if it's an illusion like the last room?
You touch the wall and it is solid.
Well. What's this thing at the end of the hallway here?
That is a small raised stone dais. And the inside of it looks like a bowl that is filled with water.
Can I try to pour the water on the wall where there should be a door possibly? And see if anything bubbles? If it's another room, there'll be oxygen from the moss.
So you're just cupping the water in your hand and start throwing it at the wall?
The bowl, but yeah.
Do you have a bowl?
A bowl on the dais.
No, like the dais is raised and it forms a bowl.
I'm gonna look to Opal and ask if she has a cup or a mess kit in that bag of hers.
I pull on my scroll case, take out my notes, and hand her the scroll case.
Very awkwardly, you can use that to try and shovel some water, but it's about as effective as using your hands. Caius looks at you. What are you doing?
There's something wrong with that one room, and I think there might be another door, another room here, but I can't figure out how to open it or where the entryway is. So I'm hoping that if I pour water, I'll see the air bubbles from the moss that's creating oxygen in the other room.
Caius uses shape
I
water.
should look to have
And he picks the water up in a bowl.
Move out of the way so I don't get splashed.
Well,
So, given that the room was oddly shaped, does that mean that it looks like using a deductive reasoning that there's another room somewhere or another part of the room? Yeah. I'm going to point to where there should be a door based off where all the other doors have been, based off these room sizes.
okay. There's a bowl of water floating while Caius waits for your suggestion.
Suggest to him to put the water on the wall and see if they have the water trickle down in this spot-ish. Oh, kind of ping. Kind of ping when she saw the draft.
Say please.
Can you please splash the water on the wall, Caius?
He freezes the water solid and it hits the ground. No.
Aren't you just a ball of sunshine?
The ball of ice raises up, turns to liquid, and splashes against the wall.
Anything happen?
The wall gets wet.
Bubbles or anything?
You don't see any sort of bubbles or anything. There seems to be no pressurized air on the other side of this wall.
Alright, I'm gonna keep going. I can't figure it out. That's about all I can do. I'm gonna keep going.
All right, there are two more hallways to your left and to your right. To your right, you see it has two doors. To your left, you can see that it has four doors. Hold on, let me grab my ruler. There's a door here, a door here, a door here, and a door straight ahead. This one to your right has a door here and a door here, as well as another dais of water.
Going to open this door to the north and see if it's the similar shape to the last one where it looks like there should be a room, but there's not.
You talking here? There's no door there.
Okay, I'm gonna go to the first door on the right.
There's a door here and a door there.
Yes, I'm gonna go to the first door on the right.
Okay, that door is locked.
I assumed so. That's 22.
You see a cell with a singular bed in a one patch of red moss. It seems like it is not inhabited.
And the next door. I'm assuming it's locked too. 25!
This room contains two beds opposite each other. On the floor, there is a single patch of red moss.
So that was the only two doors on this hallway?
Correct.
I'm gonna go across the hall.
There's a door right there.
Yep, that's the one I'm going for. I assume it's locked and I need to make another Thieves' Tools check.
The door is locked.
23 to open the door with the two beds and a single patch of red moss.
This room contains four beds opposite each other and a single patch of red moss.
Onward to look into the same thing I've seen for the last 4 hallways. Also locked, and I also need to make a sleight of hand check, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Nope, that's an 8.
The lockpick snaps. You're making that face.
That was my only lockpick. Well, bobby pin. Am I able to use a dagger to try to open a door? Or no?
Caius says, "Don't worry. I'm here to save your hide. Again, Kalianna." And you see as that ball of water comes floating up to you. And it splashes all over you as a set of thieves' tools form out of the ice. As he uses shape water, and he freezes a section of the ice to be thieves' tools. A full set of thieves' tools. And he says, that's going to last you about an hour, or until you run away. Again.
Why don't you say thank you, and I'll pick up the thieves' tools and try to open the door.
You are soaking wet.
Fantastic. Is it?
Yeah.
It's thieves' tools, so do I get advantage?
You do get advantage.
Proficient sleight of hand in thieves' tool. Sorry.
The door opens. Inside, you see 3 beds with a single patch of moss. The 4th bed has been torn up and destroyed, clawed to ribbons.
Want me to go in there?
Please, if you don't mind.
I'm going to move up into the room.
You go into the room. When you do, you step on the moss and you get a breath of fresh air.
I want to go take a look at the bed that's torn up.
You got it. As a reminder, there is a door to the north and a door to the west from where you currently are. You look at the bed. Make me an investigation check. Well, let's see what you find. You're never going to believe it. It's another giraffe.
I love it. When she's done and tells me about the other giraffe, I'm gonna look at the door to the west.
This is a larger door. It's a double door. It is made out of what looks to be a dark-colored iron.
I'm gonna try to open it.
Make a thieves' tool check.
19.
You unlock the door. When you do, the door flashes with a arcane rune. I need you and Christina both to make charisma saving throws.
Oh no.
I'm fairly good at those.
Nat 20. That is the only way I probably would have saved.
Into 13.
I thought you were good at those.
Opal, you are affected by the confusion spell as the rune of confusion explodes.
Why are there giraffes? is so many giraffes? Oh.
So, 3 things happen. First, Opal, you are affected by this spell for a minute. I need you to roll a d10. So it hits, and you have a moment of clarity, and you say, "Oh, I don't feel too good. Something's wrong." And then you hear shrieking. Roll initiative.
I've got a 23 on initiative, guys.
Oh boy. I see a very ugly creature in the bottom, and I'm afraid. I think I know what it is.
I should have stayed in the room.
Opal, roll a d10. As Kalianna, you follow your eyes and you see chomping on bits of people meat. This humanoid creature with dead eyes and rotting flesh and sharp teeth, and it glares at you hungrily.
I got a 4.
Opal, you do not move or take actions this turn. You are defenseless. The giraffe, but the giraffe doesn't make that noise.
Poor Opal, we're gonna have to buy her a giraffe stuffed animal, a little trinket, just to keep her to calm down whenever we leave.
I need a giraffe stuffy.
This thing runs up, dipping and bobbing and weaving between you two, and it's going to attack Christina at advantage. $23 to hit Christina. And
Yeah,
I need you to make a Constitution saving throw. An 8. You are paralyzed for a minute. As this thing rolls up, slashes across you, and you feel yourself shake and twinge and get stuck.
Well, this was a nice first session. I'll see y'all next week with a
Different character.
And then, since you are paralyzed as a bonus action, he can make a bite attack. So now that you are stuck and frozen, Kalianna, this thing glares at you as it reaches out to try to take a chunk out of her thighs. Does a 16 hit? Too much muscle in those thighs. It can't pierce it. But his head just sits there waiting. Kalianna.
I'm gonna pull out my rapier and stab the one that's attacking Opal and hope that I can down this thing before the one I see in the room still comes out too. Because I see 2 of them. And I'm gonna shout to Caius as a free action. We got company! And stab my rapier at him with an 18 to hit.
You hit. You do not get sneak attack. You see that on the floor inside this room that they are at, there is what looks like painted in blood arcane sigils. But you do deal a mighty 11 damage to it. You take note, Kalianna, that this guy is really stinky. But it doesn't affect you. But him smell real bad. Anything further?
That's my turn.
This one at advantage swings and gets a nat 20 on Kalianna. Kalianna, you will take 11 points of slashing damage, and I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Against a poison or disease?
It is neither.
Okay. Con save. Constitution saving throw is going to be a 10.
The DC is 10. You are not paralyzed for a minute.
Then real bad, real quick. They would have gone the campaign.
15 feet to get there, 20 feet to move here. Bonus action attack. And then 25 feet to move back there. As he bonus action attacks a paralyzed target. That's an 18 to hit Opal.
You.
For 24 points of damage. As he launches himself over Kalianna, pushing you to the side with the claws that rake across you, almost freezing you in place, and just latches down and buries his head into her ribs, and you hear crunching as he rips out a giant chunk of her. Opal, you are paralyzed. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw. Opal, you're no longer paralyzed at the end of your turn. Caius is going to run up, and when he does, he takes that dagger, and as a bonus action, he's going to use Guiding Winds on himself, and he stabs out at this thing with advantage because of flanking. There it goes. That's a 24 to hit for 9 points of damage. Its turn. This thing gets stabbed by Caius, and you see it instinctively turn towards him, and it starts searching. And then it's going to turn around and attack Kalianna. It's a 19 to hit Kalianna at advantage.
Yeah, that still misses.
Kalianna.
Are you still doing the thing in your games where you can make a free check as a free check? Okay, I'm gonna make a Arcana check on those ghouls. 22.
22. They are indeed ghouls. They pass a curse called Ghoul Fever.
Okay. What's up with why? I can see Caius, right? Like, why can't it see Caius?
Ghouls do not affect elves.
Lucky son of a gun. Alright, I'm gonna stab as an advantage against the one that me and Caius are flanking.
With sneak attack.
21 for a total of 11.
That will absolutely.
And then
As you think for a second, and you look at the ghoul, then you look at Caius and his pointed ears, and you're like, ugh, stab.
And as a bonus action, I'm going to spend 2 power points to give myself Resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing till the end of my next turn, which will also heal me for 5.
Nice. As you come back sort of into consciousness, Opal, because you're still confused. You see Kalianna, her skin takes on a metal-like sheen as she starts shining like she's made out of porcelain. This ghoul is going to reach out and try and break that porcelain, Kalianna. With a 22 to hit you. So that will be 5 cut in half to 2 points of slashing, and I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay, con save 22 is my AC. I haven't spent an interaction, but I don't want to spend another side point just yet. Con save is going to be... Nope, it's 7.
7. Kalianna, your body freezes, and he's going to take his bonus action to try and take a chunk of you. But an 18 will not be able to connect, so even though he's gnawing on Kalianna, he's not able to pierce the flesh. Opal, roll a d10. The creature uses its action to make a melee attack against a randomly determined creature within reach. There's 3. 1, 2, 3. Roll a d6. Hey, that's the ghoul. Make an attack.
Just one attack, right?
Correct.
Do I get flanking?
No, there's no one on the other side of you. But a 19 will hit for 10 damage as you just lash out randomly and you say, "Giraffe!" and slam into this thing, and it hits the ground dead.
Don't mess with my giraffes now, you hear?
Caius moves forward and he attacks with his action with a 24 to hit for 10 points of damage. This ghoul is dead. Kalianna makes a Constitution saving throw.
Yep. Let's see. Con save is a 16.
You are no longer paralyzed.
Thank the gods.
But this ghoul now has his turn. And once again, he doesn't even seem to register that Caius exists as he lashes out at you, Kalianna. With a 19 to hit you. And he rakes across your skin harmlessly. Opal, make a d10, please. Six. The creature does not move or take actions this turn.
Thank goodness, because the only one in range right now is Kalianna, and that would have been really bad.
Caius continues to stab, powered by the winds behind you, wishing that he would have grabbed 2 daggers at this point. Kalianna.
I'm going to stab the one that's left at advantage with flanking. So rapier attack is a 23 to hit and for 15.
Minus 15 damage. as you stab into him and he barely holds tight, but he is scrambling to get him a piece of that, begging for that sweet, sweet meat. He wants to eat you. I don't know if I've made that clear. And he's gonna try.
It's clear.
So he gets a nat 1 to hit you. So he goes to swing you again, and this time he actually swings straight into your hand that's stabbing him. Opal. Roll a d10. Let's see. 8. The creature uses its action to make a melee attack against a randomly determined creature within reach. Roll an attack.
I'm sorry.
A 10 will not connect.
Miss.
As you
So glad you did, Kurt.
Kalianna, you shake off this paralyzation and you stab out at the thing, and it impales its hand on your blade, and you feel something bump off of your butt. And you turn around, and there she is, playing speed bag with your jiggles, as she says, giraffe. Giraffe.
At least I was able to kill one of them.
And it was
Kalianna.
stab the one that's left at advantage with sneak attack, so that's
Go
going to
ahead
be a
and
20 to hit. Okay.
As you fierce and you feel the guiding winds grab a hold of you.
So that's going to be 13 plus 6 with Caius' guiding winds is 19 damage to hit with a 20 to hit.
19 damage. The guiding winds maneuver your blade straight into its neck, and it hits the ground dead, as Caius helps you get the killing blow.
And I'm just over there going, I'm a giraffe!
Well, you're not out of initiative yet, because next is Opal. Opal, make a d10 roll. Roll a d8. Kalianna, you see as Opal looks at you and then takes off full speed and runs square into the wall of the cell. Slam! As she dashes straight into the wall. Her forehead's bleeding as she hits the ground. As she lowers down those horns and just charges. Now you're out of initiative order.
I'm a tactical assault giraffe.
All right, we will explore this room and what happens next time. We are at the end of our time slot. I would like to thank everyone who tunes in and watches this. I would like to thank both of my fabulous players, Christina and Rose. You're beautiful, you're wonderful, you're incredible human beings. You're experts at this game, and I can't wait to see where this story takes us next. And until next week, guys, this has been Thronescapes Season 1, Captives in Crowns, brought to you by us at BAM Tavern, the Bear in the Moon. Until next week, I will see you next time.